What if the problem isn't that your life is too busy? What if the problem is that everything you're trying to build requires your life to slow down first? And let's be honest, that's not happening. Your schedule isn't magically clearing up. Your responsibilities aren't disappearing. Your life isn't about to become perfectly predictable. So the real question becomes, how do you build a life that actually works with your reality instead of constantly feeling like you're trying to catch up to it? Because this is where it gets real, y'all. It's not just about getting organized. It's not just about being consistent. It's about building something that you can actually live inside of. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Healing, Hustle, and Home. Now, let me just tell y'all who I am. In case you're new here, I'm Ashley Springs, educator, mentor, sports mom, and your glow up bestie. And this is the space where we talk honestly about what it looks like to organize your life, strengthen your finances, and build something meaningful, even when your schedule is full and your responsibilities are real. Now, we're wrapping up this part of our Reset, Refocus, and Rise series. But today, y'all, we're bringing everything together because you don't just need systems. You need a rhythm. And I need y'all to come sit with me. I also need y'all to make sure y'all hit that subscribe button on YouTube and hit that follow button on Spotify. Do it all, okay? Because I don't want you to miss a single episode. The other thing I need y'all to do is to join me on my school community called the Becoming House. That's school.com, SKOOL.com. Search up the Becoming House. I'll put everything in the description so you can just click on it. The links are also in my bio and my profile. Join me, y'all. Don't miss anything, and share this with another mom. Share this with another woman. Share this with anyone else that you think needs it. Don't just keep this information to yourself, all right? I gave you 3 things that you need to do. Make sure you do it. Don't leave your girl sitting here by herself, okay? All right. So let's talk about it. Grab a snack, too. Let me talk about why things haven't really felt sustainable for you. And I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Let's have a little conversation. Because if you've ever felt like, I can do it for a little while, but I can't keep going, this is where that feeling came from. It looks like you getting organized, you starting a routine, you feeling like, I'm good, right? For a couple of weeks at least. And then something starts to change. Like you feel bogged down, you get tired, everything gets heavy, and suddenly everything feels off again. It's kind of like when you start a new year and you get that momentum, you got your New Year's resolutions going, and you start off strong, you got that momentum, you're good to go, and then you start slowly falling off. I want you to hear this for me. It's not because you lack the discipline. It's because of what you've built. It didn't have room for your real life. It didn't. You were hopeful, but it just didn't have room for your real life. This is where it gets real. And I'm all about being real. So whenever you join me, we're about to have some real conversations. This looks like building a routine that only works when kids are on a perfect schedule. And I don't know about yours, but mine are never on a perfect schedule. Things change every week, and I'm tired of it, but I love them. So I keep changing right along with them. When nothing expects to change, right? When nothing unexpected happens, when your energy is high. I don't know when that is. Maybe when I first wake up in the morning sometimes. But then, y'all, seriously, a schedule changes. Someone gets sick. You are more tired than usual. And now the whole system suddenly feels like it's falling apart. And it's because you built it on perfect. Yeah. So sit with this for a minute. Your system only works when life is smooth, when everything's running. And guess what? That's not a sustainable system. No. So we got to shift that. We got to shift that from control to rhythm. So here's what we're shifting. No, it's not about having this very rigid routine because that creates failure. No rigid routines, nothing very strict. What I'm talking about here is rhythm, flow, rhythm, just like when we groove to our favorite songs, right? All rhythms don't work for your life. All songs don't work for you. And that's the same way that we have to think about the rhythms that we need for our life when it comes to how we run it and what works for us. What rhythms flow for somebody else, what songs work for somebody else won't work for you. So hear this. A routine tries to control your day. A rhythm moves with it. Okay? Sway and surf. Sway and surf. A rhythm moves with it. Let me explain what that looks like, because this is where it becomes real. I love music, y'all. A routine says, I do this the exact same time every day. But a rhythm says, these are the things that matter, and I know how to move them forward no matter what my day looks like. All right. Of course, you're going to have to pick up your kid the same time from school. They may have practice the same time, but that doesn't mean you have to take the same exact route every day. That doesn't mean you have to have the same exact snack, food every day. Do you feel the difference? One break when life shifts. The other adjusts. The routine breaks when life shifts. The rhythm adjusts when life shifts, just like the music changes on the radio in the car. So what does rhythm look like in real life? Okay. Right now, I'm ready to put on some music. I'm ready to play my favorite song. This looks like you having a plan, but not necessarily panicking when the plan changes. Like, I'm always going to have me a plan, y'all. And I'm going to take my planner around. Y'all see my planner sitting right back there in the background. I love me a plan. I'm going to have my planner. Okay. But it looks like you knowing your priorities. So even when your day gets off track, you're not lost. I can go right back in there, look at my plan and say, okay, all right, this is what I need to do. This is what I still need to accomplish. Here's how I can get back on track. So I'm not lost. It just looks like not needing everything to go perfectly to still feel like you're moving forward. Even though I didn't make it to that 10 a.m. workout class, I can still take a 30-minute walk and still feel like I accomplished that health goal for today. Okay. And I want you to hear this. Rhythm creates stability, even when your schedule isn't stable. I can do a line dance routine at home instead of taking a walk. Yes. So pause for a second. Pause for a second. Where have you been trying to force control in places that don't need you to control them? That's what creates stress, y'all. We have self-inflicted stress, and then we try to blame it on other things, other people. No, instead of creating something that can adjust. This is like holding yourself to unrealistic expectations and then feeling like you failed when life didn't cooperate. Stop being so hard on yourself. No judgment, though, just awareness. So you're probably like, okay, Ashley, but how do you build a rhythm? Well, just like you practice dancing. So let's make it real. Because, like, you don't get that line dance on the very first time that you try it, though, right? You've got to make it relevant for yourself. Like I be doing counts and everything in my head until I get it, and I keep practicing it. I don't want this to just sound good. I want you to actually build this into your life. You got to do what makes sense for you. It has to feel natural. You have to know what anchors your life, not mine. Because the counts and rhythms that I do in my head might make you completely lost. Okay. The songs that I love, you might hate. So the first thing I need you to do is really get clear on what actually grounds your week. Because there's a few things that ground my week, but think about what grounds your week, because everything does not and should not carry the same weight. So start by asking yourself questions like, what are the things that have to stay consistent no matter what? I start my week, my plan of my week right there. I plan my week on Sundays, by the way, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, sometimes Sunday morning, depending on what I have going on. But as I plan my week, I always start off with what are the things that I have to keep a time on no matter what. And for me, those are things like times where my kids' schedule, I have to pick them up at a certain time based on their school activities. Those might be like specific work meetings that are already in my schedule for the week. Those might be some personal priorities, and those might be some growth time that I have in my schedule. So always think about things that have specific time attached to them, because those are things that I really can't change. They are consistent, right? If it's a workout class that I really want to go to, that I need to prioritize, and that's a personal priority for me. So I put that into my schedule. A work meeting goes in my schedule, right? Because that is something that I have to prioritize. So those are things that are consistent and they're not flexible for me. You are going to have different consistencies than me, but that's where I generally start my week, planning around things that are not flexible. If I know I have to pick my son up from his school's practice at 6 o'clock, 4 days a week, then I'm going to put that on my schedule, and then I can plan around those things. I want you to hear this. Your rhythm starts with what matters most, okay? Getting up early in the morning, it matters to me. I like to work on my business task early in the morning before I have to start my actual career work. I am fresh in the morning. I don't like to do things that require heavy thought and heavy lift in the evening. I like to do things that are lighter in the evening and when my kids are home. So, but you might feel opposite. You might do your best thinking in the evening. My oldest son does his best thinking later in the evening. So he does those things in the evening. We're totally opposite. So you have to think about what matters for you. But your rhythm, it starts with what matters most. And then you can build your flexible structure, not strict schedules. So instead of assigning everything a perfect time, I don't do that. I give it a place. I give it a place. For me, this looks like, instead of saying I'll do this at 6 a.m. every Monday, you know what I say? I say this happens in the morning when I have space. Instead of saying I have to do this on Tuesday at 7 a.m., I say this happens early in the week. Yes. Yes. So I have my ideal week. I know I plan, I want to do certain things on Mondays. I want to do certain things on a Tuesday or a Wednesday versus on a Friday. And hear this, flexibility doesn't remove structure. Even though I don't say I'm going to do this at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 12 p.m., it doesn't mean I don't have structure. I just don't bound myself to a specific time in my schedule, in my day. I have flexibility in case things come up, but I get it done. Flexibility doesn't remove the structure. It makes it sustainable. it makes it sustainable. Now, this is where everything connects. Your rhythm is built on hustle and flow. And this is why I love the hustle and flow, y'all, because hustle, it's like when you have that time, that energy, and that focus to think and plan, right? And you flow when life is full, but you're still moving, you're doing, and you're getting things done. That's the hustle and flow. Things look like you having a focused work session when you can, right? And it means you can stay connected to your goals when you can't. That's what hustle and flow is. And I want to tell you this, and I want you to really hear it. This is how you stop falling off. It's not being so rigid and thinking that everything needs to be perfect. It is understanding that I'm going to be on sometimes, I'm going to be off sometimes, but you never really fully stop. And then you create weekly check-ins, not constant pressure. This is a very important part because I think this is what keeps me from staying aligned and not really falling apart. Instead of checking yourself every day, you check in weekly. And remember, I just said a few minutes ago that I take some time on Sundays and I plan for my week. I check in too. And on Fridays, I tend to kind of catch up. And I'm like, okay, how did I do this week? Where do I need to kind of catch up, get my life together, regroup a little bit? But I do that on Fridays. And then on Sundays, I regroup and I move forward. And it might look like asking yourself, what moved me forward this week? Actually, if you buy my Hustle and Flow planner, I have questions built into every single week to help you with this reflection. And at the top of that planner page, there's questions to help you so that you stay focused and motivated and not get stuck. So you might ask yourself, like, what moved forward this week? What needs attention next week? And then there's also that monthly page where you can just celebrate and honor and respect what you've done and set goals for the next month. It's not about pressure, y'all. That's where we get messed up. It's about awareness. Reflection, it keeps you aligned without overwhelming you. You definitely want to check in with yourself, but you also want to move forward. So let me say something that might change everything for you. Okay, I want you to normalize this. Adjustment is not failure. It looks like your week maybe not going as planned, but instead of you quitting, you shift. You flex a little bit. Okay? You move things around. You scale things. You keep going. The woman who stays consistent long term, she is powerful. She doesn't avoid disruption. She knows how to move through it. Yes. Just like when you mess up on that dance and you just pick up with the next move, okay? So let's bring this all together. Let's wrap this thing up. Let me say this. You don't need to control your life. Why do we think that we need to control everything? That creates so much stress on us that we don't even need to worry about. What we need to do is we need to learn how to move with it. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Because your life isn't something that you need to fight against. It's really something that you need to build within. Just like you see here on my hoodie. Building, right? We're building our empire. One goal at a time. By the way, this is part of my merch collection. This is available on my website. This is a crop hoodie, by the way. It's something that you need to build within, not something that you need to fight against. And I want you to really feel this. Imagine moving through your week. Instead of feeling behind, you are feeling grounded. You're feeling grounded. And not because everything is perfect. It won't be perfect ever. But because you know how to adjust. You know how to move. You know how to keep going. So as you move forward from this episode, from this day, I don't want you to chase in perfection. I want you building rhythm, going with the flow, starting with what matters. Give it structure, let it flex, stay in motion. Because that life that you're building, it should feel like something that you can actually live in. I'm Ashley Springs, your Glow Up Bestie, and I'll see you here next week. Make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button.